Welcome. Kicking It with Coach K podcast. This is episode 27. I am your host today and the man of the hour. As you guys know, occasionally in life, things pop up. You got to adapt. So here's one of the challenges, just to be transparent. I'll make this quick. When you invite guests that come from all over, right, all different walks of life, all different locations, all different things going on, and you're bringing on people that are getting ready to go through their football seasons here starting tomorrow for all of us. Shout out. This is the fall camp episode. But when you're doing that, sometimes things come up. Our guest, unfortunately, could not make it today. We will reschedule with this guest. But we're still going to do a show today. Nonetheless, the show must go on. As always, we will always put out some kind of good content for the week, something you can learn from. Again, I love having a guest on to converse with them, to pick their brain apart, to learn. But I also like getting my thoughts out there sometimes on certain things that are going on, or just share my story as well, right? Do my job as a coach and as a person to inspire the next generation just through my experiences too, as well, and the things that I've gone through and the things that I can use from an experience standpoint to give the younger generation tools and knowledge to be able to be more successful and just overall be in a better position, right? So I do enjoy these episodes from time to time. And so today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But before we get into that, the show is brought to you by Brain Jerk Entertainment and Kennedy Health and Wellness. Welcome to the Brain Jerk era. Love these guys. I talk about it every week. I'm blessed to have this opportunity. These guys know that, but I got to share my gratitude every single week. This is super cool to be able to do this show, have guests lined up all the way to December because people really want to be on this show. It's growing. The last few weeks we've been on fire. It's been awesome. So, and we've had a lot of really good episodes because of a few reasons. A, we think we do things very professional. B, the Brain Jerk guys, they do things professional, but these guys are incredible. They're just very knowledgeable. They put you in great positions to succeed. They've gotten guests for us that were awesome, including like the Detroit Prowl episodes. Go watch those if you haven't. And just think all types of different ways. Producer Josh and Keith. These guys just do a great job at not only just producing content, but producing quality content in a lot of different ways. So if you don't know, they have like 8 or 10 different podcasts. You can catch Keithy's Wrestling Show on Mondays. You can catch Got Your Six on Thursdays. You can catch Boss Talk. You can catch Kicking It with Coach K. And I know I'm missing a couple. After Hours with Lane's Pizzeria. Shout out to Lane's, a sponsor of the show. But they just got a ton of content. So something every single day of the week. Josh has his morning show on Mondays that always get interesting and always have some great conversations. And just a place really you can get something off your chest as well if you need to. So make sure you guys tune in to all this content, the Brain Jerk Podcast Network. You can find these guys YouTube, Facebook. You can also find them on Instagram where they will post different reels and different clips from the shows. And different things from the events and all types of stuff. So again, love these guys. Got to give them a ton of love, especially when we have an extra minute today to do so. Kennedy Health and Wellness is your one-stop shop for everything body care to soy candles. My wife makes, in my opinion, the best body care and soy candles that you can get. They're incredible. I'm telling you guys, we don't use a lot of additives or fillers or anything like that. Our stuff is pretty natural and organic. We stick to quality ingredients that we like. Our motto is always simple, quality, better for you. You can find us right now out in Vassar at Living Life Gifts. You can also find us at Krebs Apple Barn in LaSalle. So for the people in Monroe County, make sure you stop out there. And then we also have a website, KennedyHealthWellness.com. It's under construction right now as we're getting ready to add and do some different things with it. But that will be open, and you can also reach out to my wife or myself directly to place an order. Make sure you check it out. And on 8/14, we are switching into fall mode. So 1 week from tomorrow, we are getting into fall mode. So we have several sponsors of this show. We got to give them a lot of love because they've done a lot, not just for the show from a sponsor standpoint or the Brain Jerk Podcast Network or even myself in different personal endeavors in life or even Erie Mason football, right, where I currently coach football and where I graduated in my home. And I'm sure if you've tuned into the show, you know Erie Mason is home. But these places have done a lot, even for my home there at Erie, but also the other programs in the county. So got to give these places a lot of love. I know like Lanes, who we just talked about, is doing like a fundraiser for Monroe. So go out and get one of the fundraiser cards to help Monroe and support Lanes Pizza. So it's different things going on. Amaya's Fresh Mexican Grill, the Little Brown Jug, Lane's Pizzeria, IWR, Muggsy Sports Grill and Bar, Monroe Sports Center Bowling, Nerdy Designs, All Heart Athletics, who of course does a ton for the community in a bunch of different ways. I have some different announcements actually coming soon from a couple different standpoints in life with All Heart. We have some things in the works right now, so stay tuned for that. That will be coming very soon, whether that be coaching or just business. We have some different things, and the podcast potentially, but we have some different things going on with All Heart in the works. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And again, we really appreciate them over there. Monroe County Sports Network, again, everything they do for the county, just coming out to cover everything. I have to put my word in for this again. Dev, if you're listening, because I know you do sometimes, that week one, man, that Jefferson and Erie Mason is just looking like a great matchup. That's looking like a really, really good matchup to be the Monroe County game of the week for Monroe County Sports Network week one. And I think you should strongly consider that. That's going to be an amazing game. I'm excited to coach in that. I'm actually the varsity defensive coordinator for Erie Mason this year, so I'm psyched to have that game be my first game as a defensive coordinator and have our guys be able to go in and take that challenge on. Obviously facing Coach Boudry in his first year over there. So, he's trying to get things off the ground. We're trying to continue our success. It's just going to be a clash. It's going to be a great game. And I think that should be the Monroe County game of the week. So, Dev, if you're listening, go ahead and make that thing happen. 1817 CrossFit, Big Back Prep, and Back Road Baggers. So if you missed the podcast last week, we actually had 3 of our Erie Mason seniors on: Cole Krieger, Corbin Herrera, and Vaughn Brown. Them guys did a great job just talking about their experiences throughout high school, ups and downs, their experiences together, what football has taught them. Shout out to Vaughn, who sounded like he was pretty much like a motivational speaker. No, but all jokes aside, them guys really spoke from the heart, and I really appreciate them guys for coming on and just kind of, again, we're trying to build a brand, not just at Erie Mason. We're trying to be maybe one of the catalysts, right? And one of the anchors, but we're trying to build Monroe County football up. And I believe at Erie Mason, we can be the program or one of the programs to start that. And that's by playing well. That's by building the culture. That's by branding well, all them different things. So stuff like that. Again, shout out to Brain Jerk again, because stuff like that really helps brand our kids and our football programs. And that's super important to elevate the level of football here in Monroe County. So that was an awesome episode. If you missed it, please make sure you go back and check it out. Again, all them guys spoke right from the heart. They were all great. And it was just an awesome episode to have guys that I coach and that we coach at Erie Mason come on. And, in the future, we hope to have, we're going to still try to get, shout out to Coach Bowers. We're going to still try to get him on the show and maybe a couple other guys on staff. We got a pretty cool staff, man. So it's just really cool having them guys on. But check that episode out. Again, bigger than just the Erie Mason part of it. It is an elevation of football in the county, and we maybe can be the catalyst for that, right? So just really awesome stuff. So I want to update everybody on a few things before we dive in today. Our sports performance class at 1817 CrossFit is delayed until the winter. So right now, with football going on, and then also the girls getting ready to go into volleyball season. For those who don't know, I coach strength and conditioning at Allen Park for volleyball and sports performance work. They are getting ready to start their season. We start tomorrow for football, and it's just getting to be a lot. So we're gonna make this happen again in the winter and in the spring, and we're gonna start that back up. So stay tuned. One thing I do want to talk about real quick is our flag football league that wrapped up on Friday, our Opportunity Center Football League. That was put together by the Opportunity Center, the MCOP, and myself. And we ran that for several weeks. We had some ups and downs, some hiccups. We had some really great moments. But overall, at the end of the day, I think for the majority, I think all the kids had fun. We developed. The coaches were really great at connecting with the kids. Got to give a shout out to Josh, who of course produces the show and helps run Brain Jerk Entertainment, right? If you don't know Josh, he was out at the field with us, man, and he was awesome with the kids. He was really into the coaching part of it, and just teaching them fundamentals, right, and putting them in good positions, but also having fun. Coach D Mills, same thing. Can't say enough about Coach. He really, really connected with the kids well, and he did a great job at, again, just balancing the mix of teaching them the very, very basics and fundamentals and also having fun. Those guys, Coach Josh and Coach D, were a great competition for a few weeks against each other, putting teams together. It was actually a really good game. So, and also we had guys like Greg Depew and Adam Smith that helped out. Coach Smith, he wasn't even supposed to help out originally, but his boys were playing, and he's a big football guy, and he stepped in and helped. And him and Greg, same thing. Like, they were really good. Greg, would run special plays just to get the ball in certain younger players' hands and do things just to make it fun for every kid out there and not just kind of be exclusive to the older kids. So they all did a really great job. I got to give them a lot of love. Again, shout out to the Opportunity Center for making it happen. And helping us make it happen. Shout out to my wife. She painted the field. And then Nikki, who helped basically do all the registration stuff and help set fields up. And then, of course, the parents and kids. Like, I can't forget about the parents and kids. So shout out to all the parents who made sure the kids got there, especially the core group who showed up every week. And then also the kids, right, for investing. They always come first and foremost. And them guys always made a decision to show up on a Friday and make it happen. So that was awesome. And then also want to give one last shout out to Munchies, the new ice cream truck. And that was incredible for her to come out. And to be honest, the kids were so pumped to have ice cream. If you ever seen it like a college campus or sometimes even high school, like bringing the snow cones out or something after a long week of two-a-days could mean the world, no matter what age the kids are. It could just be a big confidence booster, just a big way to bring the team together, way to just get heads up, right, after a long, hot week of practice. Everybody's been out there for 2 days or whatever. And this is really good for the kids. So she came out and we got ice cream for the kids, and that was really cool. They celebrated. And then we gave out some awards, and we had 5 young men that won these awards that were courtesy of Brain Jerk. These are awesome. I don't know if they can see these in the camera, but these are pretty awesome right here. So those are really incredible. I think to give the kids shirts for being there, I think is awesome, because who doesn't want to leave a camp with a shirt to wear? But to reward some guys who really worked hard and really showed out. I thought that was awesome to be able to give them something to go home with. So again, just a great league. We're going to be back in spring with the Opportunity Center League. So we're going to do it a little earlier. We're going to do it differently this year. A couple different age divisions. We'll be better prepared. But look for that league in the spring. That'll be a fun one. Our quote of the day: excuses are the tools of the incompetent. And that's by Mike Tomlin. Excuses are tools of the incompetent, by Mike Tomlin. The more all off season people can make excuses as we get ready to enter fall camp here, but all off season people can make excuses, and it doesn't mean you got to buy them, right? You call them out on them, you hold them accountable. But it really becomes apparent when the lights come on, and the lights really don't come on August 25th or 17th or whenever your first game is. The lights really come on that first day of camp, right? And really before that, in my opinion. But if you want to if you want to break things down in this way, the lights come on tomorrow, and the excuses, they'll now shine. And I'm big on football exposing people. Football exposes you. This is why I love this sport more than anything. I think basketball, you can hide to a certain degree. I think you can make certain things happen in baseball and not necessarily be the hardest worker. And there's a lot of sports. I think there's been golfers, you look at John Daly, he doesn't take care of himself. And that guy is an exceptional golfer. That guy can't play another sport and be exceptional at it. But football holds you accountable, and football exposes you for everything that you do. And the way I'm tying that in is we find out who's been making excuses all offseason and who hasn't and who's going to continue making them real fast come tomorrow. And you find out who the guys are that you can trust and who you can't extremely fast when fall camp starts. And our quote of the day, again, is by Mike Tomlin. He's the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, for those of you who don't know. So real quick before, because I almost forgot this, but I do want to shout out to every single team in the community that is starting their fall camp tomorrow. I want to wish you guys all the best of luck. Have a safe camp, right? I want everybody, no matter if they're opponent, not opponent, none of that ever matters. You always want safety first. Every kid on the field, you hope and pray that every kid's safety, that every kid stays safe. So first and foremost, coaches, gentlemen, athletes listening, have a safe camp. Have a productive camp, have an efficient camp. It looks like weather could potentially be on our side this week. So that's a great thing. Stay hydrated, stay with nutrition, proper nutrition in your body, but take care of yourself this week and stay safe. All right. And that's to every team in the community and every team in the country that's getting ready to kick off camp or already has. Want to give everybody just some love, man. I hope you guys all have a good camp. Again, productive. I hope you guys, I hope you guys all have a good season. I want success all across Monroe County. And at Erie Mason, I want to play the best of the best, to be honest. Like I want the teams that we play to be really good, because I want us to be very, very good or great or exceptional or elite. So I want to play teams that we have to work our absolute hardest to defeat, that we have to elevate ourselves to beat certain teams. I want to play the best of the best. So I want success for that reason, and just for Monroe County in general. And we talk about it on this show a lot, but we want football and sports in Monroe County to be thought of, and the perspective of us to be higher. We want to elevate ourselves. We think, that baseball, softball, football, we think all sports in Monroe County could be recognized more. The kids could have more opportunities at the next level. We should be thought of in a little bit higher manner. We have athletes here, although smaller than downriver or certain areas, we still should be in a higher regard. We've talked about that a ton on this show. So we're not going to dive into that too deep, but I hope community success, right? And when you play us, just know that week, we just got to take that W, and we wish you the best next week. But that's just how that goes. Same with volleyball. We got to wish everybody that's starting their volleyball season in the county and downriver, got to wish, and then obviously across the country, safety, and just have a great tryout, be productive. My girls at Allen Park, they have their tryouts on the 7th and the 8th. So shout out to them, and everybody else, but we want to see them win on those days, right? Same thing as the football concept, but we want everybody to have a great volleyball season here in Monroe County and surrounding as well. And I just wanted to make sure that I get that out there, because again, tryouts start tomorrow for volleyball for a lot of schools, and football starts for everybody basically tomorrow in the state of Michigan. So we want to wish everybody safety and productivity. Not our quote of the day. Almost got ahead of myself there. So a couple things that we're going to talk about today is just a couple thoughts going into fall camp for football. We still need a spring ball, right? I think a lot of schools right now are struggling with numbers a little bit from what we've heard. And I think a spring ball brings more guys together, even if it's, more than 7-on-7. But I think we need some kind of form of spring ball. We got to get guys together earlier, not just for the conditioning, safety, and all the things we've talked about on the show, but we also got to get guys earlier for the pure fact that numbers in the sport are not great right now, to be honest with you. And it's a fight. And I think that spring ball would actually help, just because I think in the summer and even in the spring, it's really hard to get guys together. Even in the spring when they're still kind of in school, it can still start to be tough as kids are getting antsy, getting ready to get out of school. And I just think we need a chance to get them together, to continue to build chemistry, to explain to them kind of what the summer goals are, the points, the point of having off-season workouts and needing to get to be there attendance-wise and all those different things. I think we need that time together as a team. and not just, a couple guys in class. So spring ball, I think, is definitely still a necessity. I think it would help. Again, the weather thing is big to me. It looks like we're being blessed right now for weather. This is the first 2 days in so this is my 7th year of football, 9th year of coaching. And this is the first year where I've been looking at the week of camp or 2 days or whatever you want to call it for your team. This has been the first week where I think ever where I've been like, man, this looks really, really good. And so I think we got to take that and be blessed for that as coaches and as players, and don't take that for granted this week. Really use that to get more productivity, right? Use that to be more efficient, and use it really just as a mental advantage to get more work out of your guys and out of yourself. So that's another thing I kind of just have. These are just things off the top of my mind going into fall camp. I also read something the other day that I wanted to share that I thought was awesome. It was from a coach, Tony Franklin. He's got a podcast. Shout out to you, Coach. But he said that every coach should buy their significant other flowers before fall camp. And I kind of thought about that, and I even wanted to elaborate on that more. I know we're getting late now, but even if you're listening to this and you have a chance to go do something tonight, go do something with your family, something nice, something that doesn't involve football at all, because your next several weeks are going to be so indulged in football and film and kids' grades checks and checking in on their personal life and all those different things, that family tends to be a really hard priority to take care of at the same level when you're going through football season. So do something nice in those days leading up to football season, into fall camp, and make sure you take care of those. The other thing I'm going to say for athletes and coaches is take care of yourselves. If you're going 4 or 5 hour practices, like most of us will, or even 3.5 or whatever you're doing, make sure you're going home, you're hydrating, make sure you're sleeping. It's hard these days, even for adults, because we got these cell phones and all these different things, but really, really prioritize getting a good meal before practice. After practice, I'm sure at a lot of places you got some kind of meal in your middle of your break. Even if it's just a PB&J and some fruit, get something in your belly often, get some good sleep, stay off of this, keep your stress levels down. Keep your stress levels outside of football down, leave work at work. That's a big one. Once you leave work, come to football or go home, leave it there. And just enjoy it, right? Enjoy football season. It's only here for so long, and then we all miss it like crazy for a long, long time. So just enjoy it, right? And prioritize those things before football season, because once football season happens, we know it's harder to prioritize those. But again, that thought stemmed from Tony Franklin, and I thought that was really good. It was something that I really took away from that, to be honest. So those are a couple of thoughts going into fall camp. Just looking around the county from a standpoint of what we got, Friday Night Victors has been posting their what to watch for and their what to expect and, cause of concerns and all these different things. And a lot of those have been super interesting. But looking at some of the players' names and kind of knowing them from watching film, or just knowing them from like being living in Carlton and knowing some of the guys over at Airport, training certain guys in the county from Monroe, just hearing some things from the all-star kids, asking them what the outlook is, just all these different things, playing against them last year and all these different things. It looks like football is going to be pretty good here this year. I say that I'm very optimistic, but I think it's going to be really, really good. And I don't mean to forget anybody, but I think there's just a lot of schools, man, that you're going to have to respect. I think you got to respect, of course, Erie Mason. You're gonna have to respect us. You're gonna have to respect Airport. You're gonna have to respect. I think Coach Reed is doing a great job over there, and I don't think they necessarily look at it like a rebuild. I think they look at it like a reset. And I think Coach Reed doesn't necessarily want to just go 2-7 in the first year. I think Monroe's going to be scrappy. I really believe that they're going to be scrappy and they could do something. CC is going to be good this year. And again, I know I'm missing some people, so nobody jump on me. Dundee's got some guys. I'm trying to think. I know there's a bunch of teams in the county. I just heard today about how Ida looks to be pretty good. So, there's a lot going on good in the county. And I'm glad to hear that. And I'm sorry if I left anybody out, but there's a lot of good football this year in our county. And I love that. And I hope we capitalize on that. From a coaching standpoint, doing our best to put these guys in the best positions for success. I hope we capitalize on it from a branding standpoint and branding our teams, our programs, our schools, Monroe County football. I hope we capitalize on it to leave it for the young generation in a better position and keep building. It's just I'm very optimistic that this is going to be a great year for football in Monroe County, and it's going to be a great building block. So those are just my thoughts going into fall camp tomorrow. Just some general thoughts, again, on high school football in this area. Just some general things that I thought I would talk about today. So this isn't going to be a super long show. So before we jump out of here, I do want to get a couple things off of my chest, though. Our read of the day, before I forget, because I don't want to forget, our read of the day is Swing Your Sword by Mike Leach. Mike Leach was a coach. Rest in peace, Mike Leach. He was a coach who, when I first started coaching offense, that was a guy who I loved his philosophies. I loved his character. I loved the way he would sit and talk to anybody at any end of the earth for an hour. Just really looked up to the guy as a coach and as a person. So going into camp, I pulled out that book again to read. And I highly recommend it. Mike Leach, if you didn't ever listen to him, whether it was his books or his interviews, very interesting guy and just a great dude and a great football coach. So make sure you check that book out, Swing Your Sword. I want to get through a few things here that we always do on the show. We can't just skip these things. These are now becoming staples of the show that we need every single week to make sure that we continue to do them. They're just fun things. So our Coach's Corner. And this week was something that I actually just saw from Coach Cersei. Shout out to Coach Cersei over at Romulus. Y'all have a good camp over there, Coach Cersei. Love y'all boys. Go out there and take care of business downriver this year. Shout out. That is the dudes. That's the dudes over there that really helped mold me into the coach I am today. A lot of that was learned over at Romulus. So never get caught up in anyone's criticism or opinions of what people talk. I fought and won battles that no one knew about. So again, never get caught up in anyone's opinions or criticism. I fought and won battles that no one knew about. Simple, right? Meaning I don't give a shit about what this person says or what this person thinks of me or what they think about what I'm trying to do. I go through things in my life on this journey that nobody or very few have even heard about, have even been told the story. They even know the scars, right? Those are my battles. This is my journey. Those are my goals. So I can't let what you're saying affect me. We all got a path, right? Your path doesn't affect the way that doesn't affect me, doesn't affect the way I'm going to think. My path is the way, unless you're somebody, right, who I look up to, who's in shoes that I'm necessarily trying to get close to, right? Maybe not exactly, but somebody I'm trying to, I believe we all should have idols in life, but you should always want to be your own person at the same time. You should take pieces from these idols, things you can take away from them, right? Characteristics, and you should apply them to your own personality and your own character and look for your own adjustments and improvements from those people. But I think that's just a super important thing. Their opinions don't matter, right? Especially if they're criticizing or talking about things that they think you've done wrong. In coaching, this is huge because there's always parents in the bleachers. There's always parents after practice. There's always parents that could do it better and all those different things. But at the end of the day, you got to stick to your guns, know what you do, know what you've been through, know your experiences and know your knowledge and stick tough to your guns. So I think that was a great point that Coach Cersei shared, and I got to give him some love. But that's our Coach's Corner today. On this day in sports, this one was kind of sweet. In 1963, The Philadelphia Nationals went to the 76ers. They decided to do that simply on the Declaration of Independence in 1776. That was literally the reasoning for it. And I think that's super cool. I just thought it was a great point. I think to hear something like that is super cool to hear that a major franchise was like that. Felt that indebted to like do something to represent the Declaration of Independence and kind of what the things our country was founded on, right? So it's super cool. Again, and now they're the Philadelphia 76ers as we know them, and they will probably never change that. So that's super awesome. Our barbershop talk segment of today. So again, I'm going to explain this one more time, but if you've never been in a barbershop, it's a bunch of older, middle-aged dudes for the most part, talking sports, talking politics, talking bullshit, and just sharing their opinions. It's some of the best conversations you'll ever have, though. With that said, our barbershop talk today is just simply college football. I see a lot of people posting about different opinions, especially coaches that watch the show or that are getting ready to start camp tomorrow and different things, different college coaches' opinions. Is good and bad. Like that's just the only way we can look at it. Like we as fans get to watch some incredible matchups now. And some of the watered down matchups are gone, which is pretty sweet. But at the same time, like we're about to lose a conference in football. And it like feels wrong. Like I grew up watching like the Rose Bowl being like a Pac-12, Big Ten. Like this is going to be sweet, man. It's USC, Michigan. And that's gone. And I feel like that's weird, right? So it's like in a way it's bad and the TV money is running everything. So that's rough. But at the same time, we're getting a bigger playoff. So some of your schools will get to that never made a playoff before and probably never had a chance will get to make a playoff potentially. There's more money in the sport. There's kids getting paid now for being in the sport, and that seems to be inevitably going to expand. So there's pluses, right? And then there's mega games. Like you're going to see Washington and Michigan. You're going to see Washington and Minnesota. You're going to see UCLA and Wisconsin. Like it's going to be fun stuff. Like that's fun matchups every week. You're going to have big time matchups almost every week. And again, there's flip sides to all this, right? Like some games might be watered down now. Rivalries have been broken, which sucks. But also on the flip side, some rivalries like Texas A&M have been brought back. So there's a lot of catch to all of this, to be honest. And I don't know if overall it's healthy, but I know there's good and bad. And I know that if you love college football, like we do, you're going to continue to tailgate on Saturdays because that's one hell of an experience. And one of our sponsors, by the way, shout out the Back Row Baggers, we are still doing this tailgate event. I know it's a little behind due to actually some of the shift, due to some of the shifts in football, to be honest, and some things we're doing with business right now that we need to get financially stable with. That's still coming though, I promise. But that kind of got pushed aside for a few days, but that is coming. But back to what I'm saying, tailgating, you're still going to show up. You're still going to love football tailgates. You're still going to love Michigan football. You're still going to love Michigan State. You're still going to love Midwest football. You're still going to love Florida football, Texas football. You're still going to watch the games, and the matchups are now going to be even juicier every week, right? So it is a catch, right? But it's one of those things I think you just got to look at the positive and still love the sport. Like still just enjoy the sport. It's still here. And let's just enjoy it, whatever form it's in. So that's kind of how I look at it. Our Monroe County Athletes of the Week. We talked about these guys earlier, but it's the Opportunity Center football kids. This week, we had our last week for flag football, but I'm going to give the Monroe County Athletes of the Week. Again, no volleyball, no football right now. It's really just kind of a time in sports where we're just kind of getting through the summer until all of our fall sports kick off. But these guys were playing football, and they deserve a shout-out. The 5 guys that won the awards especially, but every single kid that came out and competed. I think we seen for our camp, I think we seen like 40 or 35 or something like that. And I think for flag, we seen like 30 to 35 for our first year. So not bad. Again, looking to grow it next year, but want to give a huge shout out to all these kids. Coach Josh and I and the coaches gave a little speech at the end while we gave the awards out, and we were giving out a most improved award. And we literally said that every single kid on the field could have probably won that award if we really thought about it. Like every single one could have won that award. They all improved. And that was our goal, right? Which is great. And I know every coach says that, but that was something that I think every kid out there believed. And I think we actually, as coaches, definitely deeply believe that. So, and a lot of that obviously goes to the kids. As coaches, we are here to give tools, give knowledge, teach, give blueprint, but they have to apply it, right? They're the ones doing it. They're the ones working. So we got to give all the love to them guys, man. The Opportunity Center football kids that participated are the athlete of the week. Great kids. Hope to see all them guys back. And I know a couple of them tune into the podcast. So if you're listening, hope to see you guys back in the spring, all you guys. So we're going to get a few links before we get out of here. If you are trying to find Brain Jerk Entertainment, because a lot of people ask where they can listen to this podcast and all the other podcasts I'm going to add into this. Make sure you follow these guys on YouTube and Facebook. That's where you can find the live stream every single week of this show and of all their shows. So the whole podcast network from Brain Jerk is streamed on YouTube and Facebook. That's on Brain Jerk Entertainment. And again, if you follow them on Instagram, you can find different clips from this show and all their shows that they do. And you can find clips from their events and different motivational stuff that they'll post. They do a great job on all their social media. So please make sure you give these guys a follow. Make sure you follow Kennedy Health and Wellness. You can follow Kennedy Health and Wellness on Instagram and Facebook. We also have a group that you can join where we actually put stuff out earlier than we do on our business page and on our website. So it's kind of like an exclusive group. You can actually join that as well. Check out the website, kennedyhealthwellness.com. You can find me at Coach K 1993, and you can find this podcast page at Kicking It with Coach K. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We have Christian Jones from Davenport University. So Christian Jones, for just to give a quick summary, he played for me at Wayne Memorial. All right, I was at Wayne Memorial for one season. And he played for Coach Demps and I. Shout out to Coach Demps, who gave me my football coaching career start. And Coach, man, just thinking on crazy times. But man, it's crazy to think going into year 7. It's like, wow, looking back, how long it seems like we've been doing this forever, to be honest. I love it though. Every year brings a new excitement, a new challenge, and it brings more fun. But Christian was on that team at Wayne with us, and he moved on. He played over at River Rouge for a little while, and then he obviously graduated and he went on to Davenport University. So we're going to have Christian Jones on. He is a great kid, phenomenal kid, awesome attitude, positive, hard worker. We're going to talk about his college football experience, Davenport's upcoming season, and just kind of his thoughts on things like we do every single week. We also have and I just want to announce this for anybody who listens, we have a college football preview show coming on this show with Coach Poe and I, and we're hoping to get one more guest to join us. We're going to do a college football NCAA preview. So we're going to pick our playoff 4. We're going to pick our Heisman Trophy winner, our dark horse, and we're just going to kind of make our predictions and make more of an analysis show out of college football. We love the interviews. We love the back and forths on this show. We love discussing important topics, but I think it'd be fun being that we're all extremely big college football fans as coaches. I think this would be really fun just to barbershop talk college football for a session. So look for that coming soon. Again, next week, 5 p.m. Make sure you tune in. I am Coach K. Again, thank you guys every week for listening. We will see you guys then.